Good afternoon, my name is SGomes, and today I will be demonstrating how to assess a patient's chest tube and how to replace the collection apparatus. Prior to coming into the room, I would have performed hand hygiene and closed the curtains for patient's privacy. Now, I will be applying my PPE. For today's demonstration, all I need is gloves. If there was any chance of splashback or any aerosol going on, I would don further PPE like a gown and a face mask or a splash shield. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Sarah and I'll be your nurse today. Can I please have your name and date of birth? I'm verifying the patient's name and date of birth based on their bracelet, what the patient says, and the physician orders in the computer. How are you doing today, sir? Are you feeling any pain? 0 being no pain and 10 being the worst pain that you've ever felt in your life? 0, that's exactly what we want to hear. Thank you very much. Because the patient's not feeling any pain, I won't administer any medication, but had the patient had any pain, I would administer medication and come back and reassess the patient's condition in 30 minutes. Sir, if you do not mind, can we please raise your hand? Thank you. Excellent. I am trying to keep the patient covered as much as possible, only exposing the site of insertion. I am now checking for crepitus, which is basically any air trapped within the skin or any fluid or any issues. I do not feel any crackling or any popping. There's no tenderness, and I've noted that there's no drainage on around the site or on the badge, and the tape is securely still fastened onto the patient's skin. Now I will proceed to check the line to make sure there is no kinks, no bubbles, and nothing damaging. The line seems fine. Here I would now mark where the fluid collection is at this moment in time. I would date, name, put the date, the name, my name, and the time that I checked. Drawing a line at the volume that it's currently at. Now, if I need to change the apparatus because it's full, I would then turn off the suction, then grab my 2 Kelly clamps, about 1.5 inches from the insertion site. I would put the first Kelly clamp, and then about 1 inch to 2 inches down I would put the second, without getting the glove, preferably. I would continue all the way down, just once again reassessing the chest tube, and I would disconnect. If I needed to go and get another apparatus to maintain sterility, I would put this in sterile water, being careful not to touch it and making sure nothing would get in. Let's say this is a new apparatus, I would once again reattach, mark the suction to the appropriate suction rate according to physician's orders, but just prior to that I would have filled the water chamber according to the apparatus's direction. Normally you would do it with either saline or sterile water, or whatever else that they may ask. I then would detach both Kelly clamps, making sure that there's nothing wrong at the attachment site. Still assessing the patient's pain level during the whole thing. Sir, everything's okay? Good. Do you mind taking a couple of breaths? As the patient's breathing normally, I would check to make sure that the fluid is just slightly bubbling, it's not going too crazy, or there is bubbling, that there isn't any. Everything seems to check out. At this point, I would leave and then come back and reassess the patient within probably about an hour to assess everything to make sure everything is still functioning properly. And that concludes my video.